Hey there, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the hidden gem of London Heathrow Airport Terminal 5, the British Airways Galleries Club Lounge, B-Gates. I'm going to be reviewing the food, the various drinks that are on offer, the facilities, and the overall vibe of the lounge. And most importantly, I'm going to tell you why this is the best lounge at Heathrow Terminal 5 that frankly, most people haven't heard of. Now, as the name suggests, the lounge is located at London Heathrow Airport Terminal 5. Now, you may be tempted when you arrive at Heathrow to go through security and hit one of the main lounges, Galleries Club North or Galleries Club South. That's exactly what I did on this visit. I went to the Galleries Club North, and I've actually made a separate video on this, which is linked at the end of this video. The problem with this is that the lounge gets so crowded. Every time I've been there, it's packed, you struggle to get a seat, and the overall atmosphere is somewhat chaotic as opposed to calming, which is exactly what you need before a flight. Now, in fairness to British Airways, when I checked into the lounge, the attendant at the front warned me that it was going to be very busy and suggested that I try the B-Gate lounge. Of course, I didn't listen, and I went in, and I saw just how crowded it actually was. Now, I've always known about this B-Gate lounge. I've flown through Heathrow countless times, so I know it exists. But I knew nothing about it, and I just assumed it was some small, pokey satellite lounge, that it was just there so people could go quickly before they fly from the B-Gates. But boy, was I wrong. So, I hopped on the train, which is airside, to get to the B-Gates. You could have walked, but it was about a 20-minute walk and I was feeling lazy. The trains arrive every few minutes and the journey itself only takes about 2 minutes, so it's no hassle at all to get here. Once you arrive at the terminal, it's a reasonably short walk to the B-Gate lounge, which is located near gate B36. Access is granted to anybody flying on British Airways First, Club World or Club Europe, British Airways Executive Club Gold and Silver card holders, and anybody else flying first or business on a oneworld airline. As you can see here, the lounge could not have been more different to the Galleries Club North lounge in the main part of the terminal. It was practically deserted when I was here. You would have absolutely no problem getting a seat. And they had all manners of seat, which you could choose from. They had the high stool seats. I just took a small diversion here to show that they're also serving Union coffee, which is the exact same high quality brand served in the Galleries North lounge. And moving towards the back here, you also had recliner seats, seats that looked out onto the apron, and these little private work pods. Showers were available, although I didn't personally try these as I had had a shower in the North lounge. I do now regret doing this because there were showers here too. As you can see, you get a nice view out onto the apron, although it is set back a little bit. You're not looking directly onto it. These solo seats would be perfect if you wanted to get a little bit of work done and have your laptop out in front of you. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, please subscribe. Moving back into this part of the lounge, you really can get a sense of just how quiet and peaceful it is here. I was tempted not to make this video because I kind of wanted to keep this to myself. I'm going to be flying out of Heathrow a lot, and so I wanted to have this nice peaceful lounge, but I don't think I have a large enough following to really make a difference. The drink selection was just as good as in the main lounge. As you'd expect from British Airways, British people of course liking to have a drink, they would have an impressive selection of spirits. I was also impressed to see they had non-alcoholic gin and several varieties of it too. This is great if you're not a big drinker like myself. They had some make-your-own cocktails, as well as a variety of white wine, red wine and sparkling wine. Coffee machines were dotted throughout the lounge, so you'd never have to queue to use them, and there was ample seating for you to take a seat before your flight. Overall, I've got to say, this lounge just had the nicest vibe. If the Galleries North could be described as chaotic, this could be described as peaceful or tranquil, or some other word that I would need to get my thesaurus out to look at, but you get what I'm saying here. This is a nice calm lounge. Moving around the back here leads you to the food station, which I'll review shortly. One thing that caught my attention when you enter the lounge is this display advert for Whispering Angel, which is a high-end brand of rosé wine. Now, it wasn't just the display here in the form of an advert, they had also set up a separate section of the lounge dedicated to this wine, and a very aesthetically pleasing display cabinet showcasing it. As I've mentioned in my other videos, I'm not a big drinker, so I didn't try it, but it seemed very popular and a lot of people were sampling it. For food, in addition to the usual sandwiches, they also had made-to-order food, which would include the nachos, but also a chicken sandwich, which I did try and I'll show you later on in the video. They also had the similar style hot food options like the rice, the pasta and the stews. Also available was a make-your-own salad bar, which had my favourite, Caesar salad. I know it's not good for you, and if it tastes too good, it really shouldn't for a salad, but it was very tasty, and you had everything you could want. If you're feeling less healthy than a salad, there was always a dessert station available. I started with a Diet Coke, or more specifically 2, because the cans here are these microscopically sized cans, seen here in my hand. Now, this isn't a problem, you can take as many as you want, but full-size cans would always be appreciated. I also tried the chicken sandwich, which was a fried chicken, or at least breaded chicken sandwich. Delicious. This was my version of a make-your-own salad. Chicken, parmesan, Caesar dressing, a few salad leaves, and a Scotch egg, topped with a few blocks of feta cheese on the side. For dessert, I went for the chocolate brownie with chocolate sauce. I'll be honest, this looks better than it tasted. It was a little bit dry. Impressively, next to practically every seat was a UK-style power socket and 2 USB-A-style chargers, which I used to top up all of my devices before my long flight to Singapore that I was about to take. The low point of the lounge, which frankly is a low point of every British Airways lounge I've been into, are the toilets or the showers. Other people have commented, and I agree, they look like an NHS hospital toilet. They're not aesthetically pleasing in the slightest. To their credit, they're spacious, and they serve Elemis toiletries, which is a high-end brand and was of very good quality. They also had a shaver socket, so you could use a shaver, and look, there's nothing wrong with this per se. It's an adequate toilet. By way of a comparison, these are the toilets provided in the Singapore Airlines lounge. A much nicer decor, a much nicer finish, and much more in keeping with the overall high-end feel of the lounge. If I can give BA one bit of advice, it's please renovate these. In conclusion, overall, I was really impressed with this lounge. In my view, it is by far the best British Airways lounge in Terminal 5 that a business class passenger can have access to. It has the exact same food and drink as the main gallery's club lounge, and if anything, I think I saw 1 or 2 items, like the chicken sandwich, that weren't available in the main lounge, and it's just such a nicer lounge to spend time in. It's practically deserted in parts, it's very quiet, it's very peaceful, and really, on this one I was flying out to the B gates, but even if I wasn't, I think I'd come here. It's maybe 5 minutes on the train when you factor in the waiting time, and then a 5-minute walk either side to get to the train. For a 10-minute walk, if I had any substantial time to spend at Heathrow Airport, I would come here instead of going to the main lounges. I was expecting a small, heavily cut down satellite lounge, but I could not have been more wrong. This was nicer than the main lounges and had absolutely everything that they have and more. I'll definitely come here again, and I recommend you do too.